So underway, and it is a big field of 28 here in the E 5,000 metres, and a fairly frenetic start there. Lots of juniors in this one, which is good to see, so they'll always mix up that pace. And we'll just go through the fields. In Station 1 from Box Hill, it's Tony Langland. Station 2 from Old Zavarians, Bruce Davey. Station 3 from Melbourne University, Matthew Taylor. Station 4 from Collingwood Harriers, Lewis Sullivan. Station 5 from Mornington Peninsula, Oliver Pratt. Station 6 from Richmond Harriers, Andy Fuller. Station 7 from Doncaster, Benjamin Purser. Station 8 from Richmond Harriers, Danny Cohen. Station 9 from Old Zavarians, Tim McNeil. Station 10 from Melbourne University, Adam Hanna. Station 11 from Collingwood Harriers, Michael Oak. Station 12 from Frankston, it's Tom Jansen. Station 13 from Knox, Alistair O'Brien. Station 14 from Mornington Peninsula, Lawson Duff. Station 15 from Richmond Harriers, Jonathan Little. Station 16 from Collingwood Harriers, Danny Redden. Station 17 from Mornington Peninsula, Joel Bell. Station 18 from Melbourne University, David Perusian. Station 19 from Mornington Peninsula, Robert Trott. Station 20 from Athletics Essendon, Zach Mottram. Station 21 from Diamond Valley, Brodie McCarthy. Station 22 from Melbourne University, Peter Gork-Roger. Station 23 from Mornington Peninsula, Michael Bishop. Station 24 from Williamstown, Lachlan Welsh. And Station 25 from Mornington Peninsula, Archie Hewitt. Station 26 from Glen Huntley, Paul Wilson. Station 27 from Coburg Harriers, Eric Pritchard. And in Station 28 from Yarra Rangers, Andrew Searles. 28 runners. And it's a bunch of about maybe 8, 9 or 10 out front. Well, I'll try to identify some of them as they come through. So up around the front, Lawson Duff's up there. Also Zach Mottram, Brodie McCarthy, Archie Hewitt. A few of the names. Fairly young crowd up the front. Brodie McCarthy, the taller figure there in the Diamond Valley uniform. Looks like a Frankston runner just off the back of that pack. That's probably Tom Jansen. In the gap to David Perusian. He's just trying to make up his mind whether he goes into that lead pack or drifts back again. Good to see so many of them working together early on, and Perusian, as we said, has made that move to go to that lead bunch. And that makes 9 out front. Unfortunately, with the big call, I've missed the 1K split, but we will pick them up as they go through the far side on the next lap and get an idea of what pace Mottram is on at the moment and leading that young pack with him. Thompson there, as we said, is McCarthy from Diamond Valley is the taller figure. Perusian at the back of them. So Zach Mottram from Essendon leads early on in this event. But now the packs are reforming, and it looks like there's a bit of a move. Danny Cohen from Richmond's in that next chasing pack as well. We see McCarthy just sort of looming to the outside there. So around 5:25 there at the 1600 metre mark, the 4 laps in. That indicates a time just under 17 minutes. And I think with the size of that lead pack, that sub 17 could be quite realistic here. I saw Abdinor just miss it in that previous race, but he had to do a lot of the work by himself. But with the group here, we might see them start to launch through. As you see David Parisian from Melbourne University, perhaps one of the more experienced runners in this group, certainly in this race. Lewis Sullivan from Collingwood also up there. And I think Gork Roger and Cohen have made the move onto the lead bunch, which now numbers 11. So Parisian now leads, and I think he'll inject a little bit of pace here. He'll be going for that sub 17 and hopefully can drag a few on. Good moves there from Cohen, also Gork Roger and Sullivan to immerse themselves into that lead pack so they don't miss anything. McCarthy's looking good still. So 6:47 at the 2K mark. So it's actually 7 seconds slower than the previous race, but we may see some stronger running in the back half of this with some fairly experienced runners out front now. So Parisian's been around for a while. Mottram, seen a lot of him. Don't know McCarthy that well, but he's looking quite comfortable. And the good thing about Brodie McCarthy, every time there's been a move, McCarthy has covered it. Cohen's starting to get his moves happening there. More familiar over the marathon or half marathon distance, Danny Cohen, but stepping down here to the 5,000 metres, which is not a bad thing to do. Then we see the clutch of our Mornington Peninsula boys. They're drifting back now. One of the young Doncaster runners there. So what was a bunch of 11 is now a pack of 3, and then I think it's 7 in the next group, which now includes the Williamstown runner there, which is Lachlan Welch. So a little bit more condensed in this field than the previous one. Just over 100 metres now separating the entire field as we come down, and we'll get 6 laps to go. So they're now into the second half of the race as we see David Parisian. And it's Mottram, McCarthy, Cohen, Gork Roger. Then Sullivan, I think, in next position. Then a gap to Welsh. Then it'll be our Frankston runner there. So potentially a lead bunch of 5 now. It's still Parisian driving the pace. Mottram's right with him. Slight gap to McCarthy, then Cohen, Gork Roger, Sullivan, Welsh. Then Tom Jansen in next position and starting to move nicely, the young Frankston runner. I think he'll start to pick off a few as we start to move into the second half here, or well into the second half of this race. And they're going to come down to reach the 3 kilometre mark. So 10:11 through the 3K mark there for Parisian. So we're still right on that 17-minute mark. So there's been no change from kilometre 2 to kilometre 3. Sitting right on the cusp of a 17-minute run, and I think those top three there potentially will do that. Looks like Gork Roger's now got a bit of a break on Cohen. McCarthy, unfortunately, now starting to drop back as Welsh from Williamstown starts to move through. As we said, the young Frankston runner also looking good there, and that's Jansen. So 4 laps to go. David Parisian, an old campaigner from Melbourne University, looking strong. Zach Mottram, the younger guy from Essendon, then Gork Roger. So 2 from the white train up in the top 3. Hamish will be excited. Gap then to Cohen and Welsh. Welsh looking good. The young runner there from Frankston, Jansen, just in 2 minds, I think. He should probably go straight past this group, but he's deciding to stay. And we see Welsh moving into 4th position and looking good. Jansen definitely looking the best of the next group, as we see McCarthy just drifting a little bit more. A line of 4 young Peninsula runners back in the field. So hopefully we can get them through to personal bests here in this E-race in the Victorian 5,000 metre championships. So change out front, Gork Roger. Starting to put a little bit of a break on his teammate there. 3 laps to go. We'll get the 4K split over the other side. So it's Gork Roger, Parisian, Mottram, Welsh, Cohen, Sullivan. Then we have Jansen, McCarthy. So Gork Rogers halfway down the back straight now, approaching the water stop. So as expected, the race pace is picking up in the back half of this race. Gork Rogers just pushed through around a sub 3:20, I think, for him, because he wasn't leading at the 3K mark. So 13:34 for Gork Roger going through. So if he keeps that pace up over the last kilometre, we'll begin right on that 17-minute mark. So Gork Roger leading by about 10 metres from Parisian, then another 5 to 6 metres back to Mottram. Welsh, as we spotted earlier, was pacing himself beautifully, and there could be a bit of a move here from the Williamstown runner over the final 2 laps. As we see him now approach Mottram and go past. Cohen in next position. As we said with Jansen, just not backing himself in. Probably should go to the front of this group. Cohen leading that. Then Sullivan. And then Jansen. Then it's the Coburg Harriers runner. Haven't called him all night. And that's Eric Pritchard. And then Paul Wilson. Very long history of running Paul Wilson. And it's good to see him still out there in the Glenn Huntley colours, which he would have represented back in the 80s and 90s as a Premier Division athlete for the Hunters. So Andrew Searle's just going through. Tony Langland, 2 to go. Then we have Tim McNeil. As we see Gork Roger coming through. He'll get 1 to go. Looks like we'll be finishing him on the inside lane, because it doesn't look like there's going to be any lapping in this race. So let's see if Gork Roger can produce a lap in about 85, and I reckon he can do that quite easily. The challenge now for Parisian. Can he do a sub 80 on the last to get the sub 17? Welsh moving nicely, then Mottram. As we said, Jansen looking too good early, and he's going to come home like a steam train. So the young man from Frankston looking good, but probably a little bit conservative early. Could have gone earlier. So just approaching 16 minutes now. So Gork Roger down the back straight, looking strong. He won't be challenged. Parisian still battling on nicely. Welsh moving well, followed by Mottram. Jansen the best mover on this last lap. But the distance to the next runner far too much now for him to make any inroads. As Gork Roger rounds the top bend. Time check, 16:25 now. So I think he'll get it cleanly here. It'll be sub 17, so a well-judged race here. Peter Gork Roger didn't get involved in the early pace, came through late. Has probably ticked away quite consistently now. And we're going to see him just head out to lane 3 for the last little bit. So we're going to get him under 17. David Parisian, so 16:47 unofficial. Parisian will also be a sub 17, so great running, Dave. Mottram just comes over the top. Young legs once again. Let's try and get him under 57, 58. He's got it. Welsh right on there. We'll wait for the photo finish on that one. As we see Sullivan and also Jansen coming through, but Sullivan's just going to sneak that next placing. Jansen next. Oak will probably take the next one from Pritchard. Followed by Wilson, Cohen. And we've got Robert Trott coming through. And quite a few of our young Mornington boys coming through now. Around the 17:30 mark for them. So 3.5 minute K pace. That's good running. So Alistair O'Brien from Knox. Jonathan Little, Richmond Harriers, Tony Langolin. Saw him out in force at the Melbourne Marathon, helping Liam Adams, the event winner, with his drinks. So Tony gets through now, just over 18 minutes. He'll be pretty happy with that, I'd say. Tim McNeil rounds out the field here in the men's E 5,000 metres.